A few days ago, the news dropped that Conservative Jonathan Rowe won the Terra Nova the Peninsula's riding in an official recount. And just a few hours ago, we had Pierre address the new Conservative caucus, along with congratulating Jonathan here for winning his riding, a very close race. I mean, who knows where these random ballots keep coming from, but a very close race, all said and done. This is the first time Pierre has addressed this brand new caucus. Obviously some new faces here, as a lot of ridings did flip from either NDP or Liberal to Conservative. It sounds like the Conservatives are specifically going to go after the Carney Liberals for not giving a budget, and they are going to demand a spring budget.
Cost of living and budgeting. Well, Mr. Carney told us all that, he said, I'd like to say it again and again, that a slogan is not a plan. Well, I point out that is a slogan, but but I'll tell you what a plan is. A budget is a plan, is literally a plan. And at first, his finance minister said there would be no budget this year for the first time outside of COVID in approximately 2 decades. Then the Prime Minister came out and said, well, there will be a budget, but it will be in the fall when half of the fiscal year is over. How do you budget for something that has already happened? Maybe they think that budgets will balance themselves. We need a budget to cut bureaucracy, consultants, foreign aid, and corporate welfare to generate the savings for lower debt, taxes, and inflation. For too long, workers and small businesses have carried this morbidly obese government on their backs. They can't afford it. They can't bear it anymore. Lowering the cost of government will lower the cost of living. We must unburden our hardworking people so that they can go further and reach higher. With stronger buying power and lower taxes, our incredible workers and entrepreneurs will have their work rewarded, their purchasing power preserved, and our economy strengthened. And speaking of our economy, our second priority is economic independence for Canada. We all want a permanent end to tariffs with the U.S., and we will work with the government to help make that happen. I've already told the Prime Minister that we are happy to cooperate any way we can to bring about an end to this unnecessary dispute and restore our sovereign, not just our sovereignty, but also tariff-free access to the most successful international trading arrangement in the world. And we can't help but note that the Prime Minister promised during the election that he would put his elbows up and apply dollar-for-dollar tariffs that would raise tens of billions of dollars. Now, let's be clear. He said that it would raise $20 billion this year alone, and he published that in a platform released after he had quietly eliminated most of those tariffs. So how is he going to make up the money? And why did he put his elbows down when he said they were up? Look, despite the Prime Minister's doublespeak, we will work, as I said, to help him try and get a trade deal to put an end to the tariffs. But we also need to focus on making our own economy more independent and self-reliant so that we're no longer vulnerable to such international surprises. That means unleashing our industry and its mighty workers to make things here for ourselves and for overseas markets. It's not enough to say you want to build. The government must remove the laws, taxes, and rules that stand in the way. And that's why Conservatives are proposing practical and real removal of obstacles, and the industrial carbon tax, the energy caps, the electric vehicle mandates, the no new pipelines law, the West Coast shipping ban, and more. If the government agrees to these changes, we will move as early as the spring to pass them all. They have our word. Let's remove the obstacles. Let's harvest our resources. Let's make Canada truly independent.
Now that sounds all fine and dandy, but I highly doubt the Liberals are going to play ball. Based on everything we've heard in the past couple weeks now, no new pipelines, price of housing won't come down. Desjardins just released a graph showing that our debt is going to skyrocket. The deficit is just going to get worse and worse. It's going to be really hard to try and unite the country when the official federal government is lying time and time again.
Doing so will allow us to be self-reliant from the U.S. by building mines, pipelines, nuclear and LNG plants, hydroelectric dams, and so much more. We must be the fastest place in the OECD to get a building permit, and we must have the lowest taxes on work, investment, energy, and home building. And speaking of home building, that brings us to our third priority. Conservatives will fight to free up land, speed up permits, and cut taxes on buyers and builders. We must restore the dream of home ownership that has been lost over the lost Liberal decade. And nous voulons que ces maisons soient dans les communautés sécuritaires. We want those houses to be in safe neighborhoods. We want those homes to be in places where children can play outside, where seniors can enjoy a walk, where the cars don't go missing in the middle of the night. And that is why this session we will fight to end catch and release bail, house arrest, multiple murder discounts. We'll push for treatment and not drugs to free our loved ones from the clutches of addiction. We want a drug-free Canada where people can get back on their feet and have hope. And we want to restore sanity to our immigration system. We must end the out-of-control Liberal immigration by reducing numbers, capping population, deporting criminals, and integrating newcomers. Canadians are a welcoming people, but our healthcare, housing, and job markets are now overflowing because population growth has been too fast under the Liberals. We must also ensure integration. We must ensure that foreign conflicts are left at the door. No more rampaging anti-Semitic riots on Canadian streets. So once again, our 5 goals for this session: bring down the cost of living with a budget that cuts spending, taxes, and inflation; boost home building by cutting taxes and regulatory red tape on construction; third, unleashing resources and businesses to free our economy from dependence on the U.S. Fourth, restore safety on our streets by repealing Liberal laws, locking up repeat offenders, and securing our borders. And fifth, getting immigration under control. These are our goals, but our mission can be summed up in one word: hope. When we expose Liberal failures, when we argue about policies, we don't do it just to hold the government to account. We do it because we want things to get better. When we act as a government in waiting, we do it to provide the hope that things can and will get better in a future Conservative government. We will present ourselves as a government in waiting to ensure that people know that that hope remains. The hope that our youth will one day be able to move out of their parents' homes and into their own, start a family in that new home with happy problems, like having to get out of the car when you get home from work to remove the hockey net so you can get the car into the garage. Knowing that kids were playing safely there after they got home from school, and that they will be in the House of Commons procrastinating about their homework. The families that need hope that their fridge can be full without their bank account being empty. The hope that seniors can return to that evening walk they used to so much enjoy until crime and danger interrupted it. The hope that our trades workers can again earn 6-figure jobs, digging mines, building pipelines, and constructing homes that other people can afford. The hope of restoring a country that takes care of its own, stands on its own 2 feet, united under one flag in the freest country on earth. The hope that the strivers, the battlers, the fighters, the ones who scrape by and fight on, the ones who get knocked down, but get back up and never quit and keep pushing forward, they won't give up, and neither should we. We are their champions. Their worries are our concerns. Their cause is our purpose. They are counting on us. They believe in us. They put their hope in us, and we will fulfill that hope for our people, for our country, for Canada, now and forever. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup, tout le monde.
And there you have it, directly from Pierre himself. The next 30 days will be very interesting. They return for 4 weeks, potentially 3 weeks if they vote on an early recess, which they most of the time do. They're gonna have to agree on a lot to get anything passed. Pierre sounds like he's interested in working together, but it really depends on what exactly the Liberals present. And based on, like I said earlier, everything we've seen in the past 2 weeks or so, it's not looking too great. But tomorrow will bring us to the first day back, and I will be live covering probably a majority of it, specifically question period. I want to know what you think down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you're new, and thank you very much for watching.